one of the 2025 road trip up to Alaska. Just crossed into Idaho. Left my brother's house about an hour and 20 minutes ago. I've made a few stops since I left there. So it's put me a little bit behind where I wanted to be today. Plus being sick for 2 days earlier this week put me behind as well. So starting off the trip behind, but what else is new? Anyway, today we are heading to my aunt and uncle's house, just outside of Idaho Falls. To respect their privacy, I'm not going to do any filming while I'm there. Truck's running good so far. Getting slightly worse mileage actually than I think I got with my cargo trailer 2 years ago. But this Micro Minnie is a bit taller, and plus I put some very unaerodynamic things on the top of it, like solar panels. And on the top of my truck I have my Starlink mounted there, and there's another solar panel on the roof cap of the truck, or on the roof of the truck cap. It's on the bed. So that's not helping things. Plus, I've got new suspension, so it's been lifted a little bit, and it's got new tires. Same tire class that I had before. They're Load Range E tires, but they are different. So anyway, we're currently averaging 7.8 miles per gallon since I left my brother's house. And yeah, that's a Toyota Tundra for you. Pulls like a freight train, but drinks all the fuel while it's doing it. So we'll see if that miles per gallon holds up across the entire trip or not. I am carrying just 5 gallons of extra gas in the back of the truck, plus another 2 gallons in an easy pour gas can for the generator. And then I also have a spare propane tank and a bunch of food and water. I'm carrying not very much water in the trailer actually. There's probably only 5 or 6 gallons in the maybe 10 gallons in the freshwater tank of the trailer. And I'm carrying another 6 gallons of water in the bed of the truck, plus various water bottles and things as well. So I'm not carrying a ton of water because I don't want to stress out the freshwater tank of the trailer while we're bouncing down the road. So I'm going to keep that tank pretty empty. Fortunately, most of the campgrounds that I'm going to be staying at have services. The exception will be the campground in Jasper when I stop there Sunday, and because it's in the Wapiti, can't quite remember the name of it. One of the 2 campgrounds that burned in the Jasper fires last year. But anyway, it's completely unserviced, no power or water. But tomorrow night I will be staying somewhere with full hookups, and then if I go up the Alaska Highway, then I'll be staying at the Mile Zero campground in Dawson Creek, and that also has full hookups. So I'll be able to put some more water in the trailer as I need it, and take a quick shower and do all that fun stuff. So anyway, we're in Idaho. It is day 1, and I think that's all the updates for now. So I will probably see you guys in the morning. All right, good morning, guys. As you can see, we are already on the road for the day. I left my aunt and uncle's house at 6, maybe a little bit before 6. Got a long drive today, got 9, almost 10 hours. And that's if I was doing the speed limit, which I'm not going to be doing the speed limit. So it would probably take me closer to 11, maybe even 12 hours with stops, which is why I left so early. It was great to visit with my aunt and uncle last night. Slept in their barnyard in my trailer. everything worked great. Nothing really moved around in the trailer either, which was nice. A couple of things fell over, but other than that, things stayed pretty steady. We'll see what happens when we get to the old Alaska highway. But so far, everything's looking pretty good. So today the plan is we are going to be headed north through Idaho and then up into Montana. We're gonna follow we're gonna follow I-15 until we turn off on I-95, I believe it is, towards Missoula, and then we're going to be heading up through Kalispell and then up into Canada on that side of the Rocky Mountains to a campground called Black Sheep Camp Kootenai Campground, I think is what it's called. I'll put the name of it up on the screen if I'm wrong. But that's where I've got a reservation for tonight. And then tomorrow, we're gonna just make a short drive up into the national parks and stay in Jasper. So gonna be a much shorter drive day tomorrow because I wanted to be able to stop and enjoy the sights and see things, and if it's not too smoky, maybe go on a hike or something. So anyway, that's the plan. Doing 70 miles an hour up the freeway, and next stop will be in a couple hours when I need gas. Well, we got out of the wind and onto some more flat ground, and I'm getting 2 miles per gallon better than I was before. It's that top left number on the little display. 9.2 instead of 7. Much better. Able to monitor my power station from my phone here that's running my Starlink. Currently the solar panel is keeping up, although it's not charging. Oh, it is charging now. Nice. It wasn't charging a minute ago. I don't know why. Anyway, that's pretty cool. I've driven through this part of Montana exactly once that I remember. It was on my way home from Alaska in 2009 in my little red Toyota Celica that I drove up that year. I came home this way, but I don't think I've gone this way since then or before. So this is not new country, but I don't really remember it. So it's been really a gorgeous drive so far. We're still on I-90, heading towards Missoula, and then we're gonna cut up Highway 93 to Kalispell and find a Walmart because I need a bug zapper and a funnel for pouring water into my trailer. Alright guys, still driving. Made a few fuel stops so far today. Currently winding my way alongside Flathead Lake here in Montana. It's a little bit slower going because it's windier and more ups and downs, which means I'm getting worse fuel mileage again, but that's fine. I chose to come this way on purpose, so we'll just deal with it. The country's been really gorgeous. Looks very expensive to live here, if I had to guess. So yeah, everything's running great. Truck's running great. No problem so far. I did stop at Walmart and buy a few things. I bought a bug zapper because one of those racket bug zapper things, because last night at my aunt and uncle's house a number of mosquitoes got in the trailer, and I discovered that I didn't have a good way to get rid of them, to dispatch of them. So I now have a bug zapper, and then picked up a few other things that I needed while I was at Walmart. So anyway, we're about an hour and 45 minutes or so from the Canadian border, so probably see you guys on the other side. Alright fam, we've made it successfully into Canada. Very quick at the border. They pulled in the truck that was in front of me, they pulled in for inspection, so guy pretty much just waved me through, asked me the standard questions about firearms and weapons and stuff like that, and where I was going, how long I was staying, and then just waved me through. So easy peasy border crossing. I like it. Anyway, we're about an hour and a half from the campground, so I will see you guys there. All right, good morning. I stayed in the campground where I was at last night, but I didn't do any filming because, you know, it's still a new thing, and I just forgot to film or show you any of the campground. But it was pretty nice. It's the facilities were nice. The campground itself was only okay. The site was mostly level, but there's obviously long-term and permanent residents at that campground. So, at least for the summer. And it was a little busy, so I didn't really film anything while I was at the campground. But everything got set up great. Still getting used to figuring out the trailer and everything. So yeah, we're just inside of Banff National Park now. Got to go buy a park pass whenever I get to the fee station, and then we're going to be heading towards Jasper. So I will try and remember to take you guys along. I got halfway down to where I took those last clips and realized I forgot the GoPro, and I didn't want to walk back to the truck, so I just filmed those with my iPhone. Yeah, I'll try and remember the GoPro next time so I can take you guys along and give you audio at the same time. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know, you guys. I think I'm gonna have to add a spring leaf to the back. I took all the weight out of the very back, and she's still squatting a bit more than I cared for. All right, guys. We are in Banff, in Alberta now. Headed up the highway towards Jasper. So I'm still about 2 hours and 45 minutes away from Jasper. I've been stopping to walk around and take photos and take some of the clips from earlier. And I'm gonna try and stop when I can at some really scenic stuff. But I do want to get to the campground before it's too late. Right now it's telling me I'll get there right after 5 o'clock. I don't want to be rolling in there at like 8. So try and show the road here to you guys, because it's just absolutely breathtaking through here. Yeah, enjoying the drive so far. It's just, like I said, just gorgeous. All right, we're about to go under one of these wildlife bridges that they have spaced periodically down the highway here. These are pretty cool. Got them on both sides here. Lets the wildlife cross the highway safely. Just passing the exit off the parkway here for Lake Louise. I wasn't going to stop there, but even if I wanted to, there's a traffic sign out here that says parking is full. So it's a popular place. But yeah, can't stop there. So we'll just keep on going. Look at these mountains, guys. Just spectacular all along here. You can see that mountain up ahead is kind of rain wrapped. Just gorgeous. I don't know if you guys can see in that little canyon there, but that's Lake Louise is up in there. Can't stop there today. Alright, I misspoke earlier, I think. I might have called that highway the ice fields, but it's not. That was just the Trans-Canada Highway. Now we're getting on the Ice Fields Parkway headed towards Jasper. Views on views up there. There's almost nothing I love more than a windy highway, mountains, pine trees, valleys, rivers. It's my kind of place. Guys, I don't think the GoPro is ever gonna do this justice. I don't even think there's a good way to describe it. Check it out, guys. Stop to check out the Columbia ice field. I'm not going to walk all the way up to the center because I don't want to. Still a lot of driving today, but it's just gorgeous. It's the Columbia ice field. Just absolutely stunning. Alright, walking back to the truck. I'm not super happy with how the rear end of my truck is squatting with everything that I've got in there and the weight of the trailer.
I did replace the shocks, and then I added a road active suspension system on the back, which is basically just a little helper spring for the leaf springs. But I think I either need to replace the leaves in the back, or do an add a leaf, or maybe some airbags, or maybe just get a whole different truck, because I took out as much weight out of the very back as I could, put some stuff in the trailer, put some stuff up in the cab, but I'm still not liking how squatty the truck is. It's a little bit exacerbated right now because the truck is facing uphill and the nose of the trailer is facing downhill, but even when it's flat, it's a little too squatty for my liking. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the trip and what I decide to do while I'm up in Alaska this summer. But otherwise, things are going great. My solar panels on the roof of the trailer are keeping the batteries topped off. This one 100 watt panel that I put on the truck for the Starlink is just barely keeping ahead of it. I'm often not keeping ahead of it, so I'll probably just give this to somebody and see if I can snag a 200 watt panel for the trip home. Other than that, not having any problems. All right, let's get back on the road. All right, guys, getting close to Jasper, and you can see one of the unfortunate parts about nature and the life cycle of a forest is forest fires. And there was a huge forest fire that burned through here last year. It even got part of the town side of Jasper. A lot of people lost their homes. So it's kind of sad for that, and also for all the burned trees, but you know, fire, like I said, is a natural part of the forest's life cycle. So it's something that has to happen every so often, and unfortunately it just happened here last year. Anyway, about 15 minutes to the campground. All right, rolling through Jasper to go get some gas and some food. It's pretty sad. This was a shopping center, a little like had a bunch of different shops and stuff in it. That's gone. There was an older like motel thing. It was a cool train engine that was back there. That's gone. I'll show you guys that on my way out of town. Right now I'm going to get gas, and then we'll come back and I'm gonna find something to eat. I've just always loved the Jasper National Park Visitor Center. Love the design and the aesthetic of it. Wouldn't mind my future house looking just like that. Thought I'd walk across the street from the visitor center and show you guys the fire aftermath from last year from town. If you saw the clips from the car, we came from that direction. Oh, I lie, we didn't come from that direction. But the fire just took out everything. And that canyon we came down from, which was actually this way, you could see it had gone up both sides of the canyon all the way up to the top. Pretty sad. It's actually surprisingly warm in Jasper today. It's like 70 something. I put my jeans on earlier because when we were up in the canyon it was pretty chilly. But now I'm wishing that I had put my shorts back on. Anyway, there's a pizza place down here that I'm gonna go check out for dinner. All right on this corner, there obviously used to be another gas station, 7-Eleven, and then up on the left, somewhere up in front of where we're going, there used to be another Shell station too that burned down. There's a gas station. You've still got people staying in campers and stuff in town. They haven't been able to get any more housing. Fortunately, they saved all the houses along here, except for this one hotel that burned down up here on the right. Yeah, not sure where the old Shell station was that burned down. It was along here somewhere. Yeah, so Mount Robson Inn, you can see the sign there. And there was another hotel or boarding house or something here too, but they're all gone. Hopefully they can rebuild it soon. Anyway, just driving back to the campground after eating my very delicious pizza. Didn't film anything there, but I'll put a photo of it over the video so you can see it was pretty good. And it was barbecue chicken pizza, which, if I have to admit, I just love me some barbecue chicken pizza. It's my favorite. It's my favorite kind of pizza. But it was really good. I only ate half of it. I got half of it sitting right next to me that I'm gonna have for dinner tomorrow. Right here was a place to stay called the Jasper House. It was a bunch of log cabins and a really nice little lodge place to stay. It completely burned down. Super unfortunate. Alright, driving back up to my trailer, which you can just see right there on the other side of this Sunseeker. And we're gonna park and just set up for the night. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.